It's up to families to choose when they become engaged with the Trust, but for many, the first contact comes after diagnosis via the helpline and new diagnosis packs we offer.
There's always happy, funny days with the kids.
Scarlett at the moment is the funniest because she's 3 and she says a lot of naughty words at the wrong times. She doesn't like to wear pants and she likes to flash people at Asda.
Everything is funny when they're well. Obviously when they're not well, then reality comes back a little bit.
People with cystic fibrosis often have to undergo a rigorous daily regime of treatments to stay healthy. This can include taking inhaled and injected drugs to clear mucus and fight infections, taking dozens of enzyme pills to digest food, and having physiotherapy morning and night.
Cystic fibrosis children have a serious condition. They need to be looked after by people who know what they're doing, who can provide specialist care for them. So they need to attend a specialist unit where it's not just me, a doctor, looking after them, but we have other members of the team, including a dietitian, a physiotherapist, a psychologist, and specialist nurses who can all work together to look after the children to keep them healthy.
She usually wakes up and she's covered in poo. So that's a daily, every morning they have to get up, they both have to have a shower and we have to clean their bed. And then we come downstairs and Scarlett puts her vest on. She does her vest for 20 minutes and then we give both girls their medicines. Scarlett does her nebulizer and then they can have their breakfast.
When your children grow up, you think that's more or less the end of your worries over them. But I've got more worries because I worry about the girls and I worry about the effects of them on Lisa. And it's hard. It's hard because I want to protect Lisa and I want to protect the girls and I can't.
Generally Scarlett's quite well, but she has regularly had Pseudomonas grow in her lungs, which is a bacteria, and she's been in hospital twice for IV antibiotics and bronchoscopies. She's had CT scans on her chest and a lot of other tests.
I'm very sort of paranoid now if they're around anything, sand, water, even mud. You wouldn't worry about it. Get them in a sandpit, get them filthy, get them wet, get them dirty. But for us, it's straight away, hang on a minute, Pseudomonas or other things they can pick up bug-wise. Spring straight into your mind and you're pulling them away.
For a long time, the majority of people with CF would not have lived past the age of 10, which is why it was sometimes known as a childhood disease. Now, thanks to improvements in care and the development of transformational therapies, nearly 60% of people with CF are aged over 16.
I can't imagine having to bury them. I would rather die. But we live in hope every day with the new medicines that we will never have to see that day. We never want to see that day and we want to see the life expectancy rise and not think about it.
The latest data from the UK CF Registry report shows that the current median predicted survival age is just over 40 years.
There's lots of exciting research now which is coming on to clinical trials where we're testing these new medicines to find out how effective they can be.
The Cystic Fibrosis Trust is the only UK-wide charity making a daily difference to the lives of people with cystic fibrosis and those who care for them. This ranges from improving the standards of care with peer review of CF centres, providing information and support for people with CF and their families, and investing in research.
Most children live healthy into adult life with good lung function. But despite our best efforts, some of our patients still have a gradual worsening of lung function.
1 in 3 people with cystic fibrosis on the waiting list for a lung transplant will die.
Their lungs can deteriorate, and sometimes for those people, their only chance for prolonged survival is a lung transplant. That's why carrying an organ donor card is so important.
Increasing the number of donors will mean more lungs available for people with CF in need of a transplant. Of course, there's hope for the future. We've come a long way since the Cystic Fibrosis Trust was founded over 50 years ago, and through investing in innovative research and ensuring access to transformational therapies, we can beat cystic fibrosis for good.
Well, we are part of the National Health Service, and so we do get funding from government to help pay for the cost of treating our patients. As we all know, in the National Health Service, money is tight, and sometimes we can't give our patients all of the things we'd like to give them to provide them all their care needs beyond the straightforward medicines and treatments that the NHS provides.
Here at the Cystic Fibrosis Trust, we receive almost no government funding. Around 50% of our income comes from community fundraisers like Cadence Fight, who organise events or were sponsored to take part in personal challenges.
Please cough up for CF. You can do this by texting CAFI50 and your donation in pounds to 70070.